Wonderkids are the #1 commodity in Football Manager 26. Every single FM26 manager will head out to sign the latest Wonderkid to develop into a world beater. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you some names that might have flown under the radar in your save games that I think you can help reach that level too. Before I jump into it though and show you the players that you should be scouting in FM26, please don't forget to like today's video and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Right then, let's get into it. The first player in today's video is a Brazilian wonderkid. This is JP Chermont. He's 19 years old, plays for Santos, and he's valued at 2.2 to 6.6 million pounds. He operates as a right back or a right wing back. Looking at his attributes, he's set up to develop nicely. In terms of the physicals, he has standouts for acceleration, agility, natural fitness and pace. In the mentals, it's concentration, decisions, determination, positioning, teamwork, vision and work rate. And in the technicals, crossing, dribbling, first touch, passing, technique and tackling all score highly. So he's set up to develop nicely, but in 10 years time, he now looks like this. At the age of 29, he's playing in Japan for Fukuoka and he's valued at 1.1 to 3.4 million pounds. Looking at the development across his attributes, there actually hasn't been that much of it. But the thing I can say is that he has been a consistent performer across his career. He's been with 4 clubs, he's made 270 first team appearances, playing well wherever he has gone. So I think he's a player that you should be scouting early in the game. And if you pick him up, maybe you can get more development out of the player in your save game. Next, we are looking at a Chelsea Academy graduate. This is Reggie Walsh. He's 16 years old. He's a member of Chelsea's under-18s team and he's valued at 3.7 to 11 million pounds. He operates through the middle of the park, whether that be as a defensive midfielder, central midfielder or an attacking midfielder. In terms of his attributes, he's set up with future development in mind, scoring highly in the physicals for acceleration, agility and balance. Mentals, he scores highly for composure, decisions, off the ball, vision and work rate with 16 for determination. And in terms of the technicals, he scores highly for first touch, passing and technique. As I said, this is a player that really can develop, and in 10 years time, he goes on to develop into this player. He's now 26 years old and has made the move to Napoli, even though he's on loan at Parma. He's valued at 1.6 to 4.7 million pounds. Looking at the development in the player, you can see that the physicals have come through now. Acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness, pace. In the mentals, they have really picked up too, with that 16 for determination, carrying him to 14 decisions, 14 anticipation, 12 for flair, 15 for vision and 13 for work rate. And in the technicals, crossing, first touch, long shots, passing and technique are all still standouts. I think he's developed wonderfully and he's a player that really flies under the radar. You should go and get him in FM26. Up next, I have a Japanese wonderkid. This is Gaku Nawata. He's 18 years old, starts the game in Gamba Osaka's senior team, and he's valued at 1 to 2.9 million pounds. He's a player that can play in any of the attacking positions, whether that be wide left, wide right, through the centre as an attacking midfielder, or as a striker too. In terms of the attributes, in the physicals, he has acceleration, natural fitness, pace and agility that stand out. In the mentals, he scores 13 for determination, 15 off the ball and 13 for work rate. And in the technicals, he has 14 for finishing and 12 for heading. He really is that rough diamond that will need polishing, because in 10 years time, he develops into this. At the age of 28, Gaku Nawata is playing for Shandong. He's valued at 2.1 to 6.2 million pounds. And we can see he has developed into a real attacking threat. In terms of his attributes, it's still acceleration, natural fitness, pace and stamina that stand out in the physicals. He scores 17 for off the ball, 15 for concentration, 13 work rate, 13 decisions and 13 for determination. And in the technicals, he's really developed at the top end of the pitch with 16 for finishing, 13 heading and 12 for technique. He really is a player that you could polish into a diamond in your save. Next up, we have a product of La Masia. This is Kim Junyent. Now, you may be thinking, why have you put a La Masia product in an under the radar Wonderkids video? Well, this is a player that I don't think is being talked about enough. And when he breaks through into Barcelona's first team, all of a sudden, everybody will realise who Kim Junyent is. So he starts the game in Barcelona's under-19s team, and he's only valued at £35,000 to £100,000. He plays as an attacking midfielder or a central midfielder, can also play out wide and can be a makeshift striker too, but he needs developing in those positions. Looking across his attributes, he scores highly at the start of the game for acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness and stamina. In the mentals, the standouts are determination, flair and vision, and in the technicals, it's his dribbling, first touch, passing and technique. He really is set up to go on and develop nicely so that in 10 years' time, he develops like this. Now, at the age of 28, Kim Junyent is playing his football in France for Sochaux. He's valued at £550,000 to £1.6 million. And looking at the attribute progression, you can see that his development in all three categories. So in the physicals, he still scores highly for his agility, natural fitness and his pace. In the mentals, the standouts are his determination, flair, vision, work rate, anticipation, concentration and decisions. And in the technicals, it's his dribbling, first touch, passing and technique. This is a player that I think you can get on the cheap. And if you're not in a top team, he will be able to come in and develop nicely for you and your team. The next player up is a Mexican wonderkid. This is Fidel Barajas. He is 19 years old, starts the game on loan from Chivas Guadalajara at Atletico San Luis. He's valued at 1.1 to 3.3 million pounds, and he's a player that plays in all of the attacking positions, mainly as a wide player, either on the left or the right. He can also operate through the centre too. Looking at the player at the beginning of the game, he looks like he has raw potential. In terms of the physicals, he scores highly for acceleration, agility, natural fitness and pace. In the mentals, it's anticipation, composure, determination, flair and vision that score highly. And in the technicals, dribbling of 13, first touch of 12, passing of 13 and technique of 13. I think he's a player that is really set up to develop, because when you get 10 years into the game, he now looks like this. At the age of 29, he's playing for FC Juarez, but he's out on loan at Pachuca. He's valued at 2.1 to 6.2 million pounds. And looking at his progression, you can see there is development in all three categories. In the physicals, he still scores highly for natural fitness, pace, acceleration and agility. In terms of those mentals, it's determination, flair and vision that stand out. And in the technicals, dribbling of 13, crossing of 13, passing of 13 and technique of 14. Now, he may not be one of those elite wonderkids, but he's definitely one that is flying under the radar in FM26. Next up on the list, we have a Norwegian 19-year-old who plays his club football at Hamkam. He's valued at 1.8 to 5.4 million pounds. This is Julian Gonstad. He operates mainly as a striker, but can also play as a makeshift attacking midfielder. Looking at his attributes at the start of the game, he has plenty of potential. In terms of the physicals, he scores highly for his acceleration, natural fitness, his pace and his stamina. In the mentals, it's all about his aggression, composure, determination, off the ball, teamwork and work rate. And then in the technicals, already scoring highly with a 15 for finishing. He scores well for first touch and for technique. He's a player that should go on and develop, so in 10 years' time, he will look like a true wonder kid. As now, at the age of 29, he is playing for Olympiacos in Greece. He's valued at 12 to 36 million pounds. He's really developed as a striker, and in terms of the physicals, he still has those standouts of acceleration, natural fitness, pace and stamina. The mentals have developed fantastically, with him scoring highly for anticipation, composure, determination, flair, off the ball and work rate. And in terms of those technicals, a 17 for finishing, 12 for dribbling, 12 for first touch, 12 for heading and 13 of technique. He has developed into a fantastic wonderkid striker. I think he's a player that you need to check out early on in your saves. Next up, I'm taking a look at a South African wonderkid. This is Siyabonga Mabena. He's 18 years old, plays for the Sundowns under 21s, and he's valued at just 130 to £375,000. He plays as an attacking threat in all of the positions at the top end of the pitch, mainly as a striker, but can also fill all three attacking midfield options. Looking at the attributes, he's set up brilliantly for an 18-year-old with 14 acceleration, 13 for pace, 17 natural fitness, and 15 for balance. In the mentals, he has good decisions, determination, off the ball, and vision. And then in the technicals, he scores 15 for dribbling, 15 for finishing, 15 for first touch, 13 for long shots, and 13 for technique. At the age of 18, he looks like he could be a fantastic addition to anybody's squad. And when you go 10 years into the future, he develops like this. Now at the age of 28, Siyabonga Mabena is playing his football in the United States for San Jose Earthquakes, and he's valued at 3.1 to £9.4 million. Looking at the three categories of attributes, there is clear progression everywhere. In terms of the physicals, the standouts are his acceleration, his balance, his natural fitness, and his pace. In terms of the mentals, it's his decisions, determination, flair, off the ball, and vision. And then in the technicals, he still scores 15 for finishing and first touch. He's gone up to 16 for dribbling, and scores highly for long shots and technique. He's a player that I think you can sign relatively cheap at the start of the game and really turn into your own under-the-radar wonderkid. The final player on today's list is a Danish wonderkid who starts the game at Vejle on loan from FC Kobenhavn. This is Amin Chiaka. He's an Algerian international that is valued at 2.5 to £7.6 million and operates as a striker, but can also play out wide on the left or on the right. Looking at him at the beginning of the game, you can see he has plenty of potential to develop into an elite player. In terms of the physical attributes, he scores highly for his acceleration, his jumping reach, natural fitness, and his pace. In terms of the mentals, it's aggression, bravery, determination of 16, off the ball 13, teamwork of 13, and work rate of 14. And then in the technicals, in terms of the things needed for a striker, finishing of 13, dribbling of 12, first touch of 12, heading of 12, and technique of 12. So he's set up to develop nicely. So in 10 years' time, he now looks like this. At the age of 29, he's playing for Bournemouth in the Premier League, and he's valued at 34 to £102 million. Looking at his attributes, there is clear progression everywhere. And in the physicals, he now has standout of jumping reach of 17, 16 for natural fitness, 16 for pace, 14 acceleration and stamina. In the mentals, 16 determination, 15 for bravery, 15 for composure, and 15 for off the ball and work rate. Then in the technicals, everything that you would need in a striker, 16 for his finishing, 13 for his dribbling, 13 first touch, and 15 for technique. He really is a player that has took massive steps forward. You're going to need to scout him early on in the game whilst he's out on loan, but as soon as he goes back to his parent club, make sure you are signing this player in FM26. So there we have it then. That is my list of players that I think are under the radar wonderkids in Football Manager 26. Would you sign any of these players? Do you think you could develop them better than the AI could? Let me know in the comments section down below. And whilst you're here, don't forget to like today's video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel.